Go, Wayne, go. 1, 2, 3, go.
What's up, guys? This is Wayne here at the IFTV Studio Takeover. Roma Lazio, Derby della Capitale. It's time to discuss. I'm pumped. Live in Brooklyn.
Wow, Wayne, that was very professional. You know your stuff. It sounds like you did that a million times.
Off the cusp.
But if you guys don't already know, of course, we have 3 special guests. Wayne, our boy Wayne, huge Roma fan. And on the other side of the table, as I switch, we have Antonio, the GOAT, as he wants to be called for some strange reason.
I am the GOAT, you're right.
And then we got Ludo, who's been joining us the past few weeks because Napoli's been on absolute fire. So that's how it is across the table. We do have Marco. We all know Marco's in Italy, but now Gaetano and Peter are in Italy also. Wow. Marco's going to be with Gaetano in Palermo for the huge match, Italy-Macedonia on Thursday. And I think Peter's just going around the country. I know he has work to do, but I don't know exactly where he's going to be.
Peter today was in Ferrara.
Oh, in Spa, for Spa?
I think.
Yeah. He went to see Giuseppe Rossi.
So maybe check out Giuseppe, yeah. But it's us 4. I think we got a really solid lineup going forward, especially through this incredible Serie A round. I think it gets more interesting each round as it goes, and we're almost there. Almost, was it 7 or 8 rounds?
8 games.
8 games left for most of the teams.
Yeah. 9 games for
a couple
Inter.
of teams, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Inter and,
so it's looking interesting. I mean, we got to start it off first, right? With Juventus Salernitana. Now, that ended as a 2-0 win. That started off pretty on point, I think, for the most part. Juve won 2-0. Dybala and Vlahovic. Dybala is one person we got to talk about very soon also. But they're only 1 point away from Inter, which I think is pretty insane considering the horrible start. Yes, Inter have the game in hand like we're talking about. But they're right there. They're right there for the taking. And a lot of people still think they're not Scudetto contenders. But you never know. There's still plenty of points to be gathered. Plenty of points to be dropped. But the big storyline of Juventus was not the win against Salernitana. It's the news that's been coming out the past few days about La Jolla, their bandiera, or thought to be bandiera, Paulo Dybala. And it looks like, I don't know, Ludo's having a big grin on his face. We'll go to him shortly. But it looks like he will not continue with the club he signed for. He's been there for so long, ever since he signed for Palermo.
Guys, listen. This is the craziest Serie A season that I can ever remember in my lifetime.
Literally.
We have 1 point separating first to third place. 3 teams that will all fight until the death for the Scudetto. We got Inter, we got Napoli, we got Milan, and then it doesn't stop there because there's an even crazier Champions League race where from 4th to 6th place, there's only 6 points. 4th to 7th place, there's only 6 points separating them. If you are not watching Serie A, you are simply missing out.
Calcio's the gift that keeps on giving, guys. And Marco, I think we have a great deal for them too. We're not just going to leave them empty-handed like that. What kind of people would we be, right?
We are not, because if you are in America, you could stream all of the Serie A matches and Champions League, by the way, which is coming back this weekend, on Paramount Plus, which is our premium sponsor of IFTV.
That's right.
Basically all of our content, because they love the IFTV community. They love you guys.
Especially.
And we have a deal for them. Because you cannot miss Serie A. You cannot. If you never watched it, you have to make sure you do this. The top of our description, the link at the top of our description, you will get Paramount Plus, a 7-day free trial, and then $4.99 a month after that.
Wow.
That's not bad.
And Marco, if you do get it for the year, you do save 16% on that. And as
do you know how to count?
I really don't, but for Paramount, I actually put some numbers together. I actually got a calculator because this is a deal you cannot beat. You get all this culture action, you get the European games, you get the TV shows, you get the movies. Live TV, I mean,
Amazing Race. I watch Amazing Race. Guys, tune into Amazing Race. The season's actually really good.
I got to check that out. There's a couple people left. But Marco, even if you go to, that's cheaper than if you go get a coffee at so many of these, hippie coffee shops over here.
We got a lot of those in Brooklyn.
So you already make your money back in an instant. Just watching a couple of games, it's extraordinary.
It's true. Guys, they're supporting us. We need to support them. Paramount Plus is our sponsor. Link in the top of the description. Wherever you are, make sure you go and buy your subscription.
And back to the podcast.
There we go.
It looks like they have not found an agreement still, and a lot of reports are saying he would leave as a free agent in the summer. I wanted to give you some context. There was a full verbal agreement last October for $8 million plus $2 million net salary until 2026.
Light years away, Mike.
Then Juve decided to change their proposal. Ludo, I know you said this a few months ago on Juventus shouldn't go full throttle on Dybala, saying he doesn't give you enough games. You don't know what to expect to him. Are you surprised over here that Juve are... You could say listening to you.
Absolutely not, Mike.
Why?
Mike, absolutely not. I totally agree with the line of Juventus, and like you said, in October, certain things were offered, but we all remember that in October Juventus started on the wrong foot. Mm-hmm. They started really bad. Allegri came back, and he's not going anywhere. $9 million a year for the next 4 years. He's not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. So they wanted to give Dybala another chance. They wanted to give that last chance, making him captain, the leader, a little bit of responsibilities, and he has failed again. He has played probably 14 to 15 games. And Juventus, Christmas came around, they started going towards different direction, and you saw with the January signings. And then Juventus started on a winning streak. Now they're in Champions League. And I think that after Juventus was eliminated last Wednesday against Villarreal, Juventus started thinking about September next year. This year is done. They have 4 contracts to deal with. Cuadrado, which is sure going to stay for another couple of years because he's one of those utility players that you can... place him in different positions, play him in different positions, come off the bench, rest him. Then you have Bernardeschi, I believe. Then you have De Sciglio, which Allegri wants, because remember, it's always the coach that has the last voice. Mm-hmm. He's the determining factor. And Allegri said last week in an interview, I'm in line with what the club wants to do, which that means they did not want to sign him. So I believe there's no margin here. There's no negotiations. There is nothing to negotiate.
Yes.
I think an offer was made this morning, but an offer so low and so ridiculous that Juventus already knew
that they weren't
that he would not accept the
So
offer.
it was an offer that could be refused, and it was refused.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It was a ridiculous offer because the Juventus thinks 100% that Dybala is no longer the center of the project. They are moving in different directions, and they also have the Morata issue. Well, that's not a re-signing, but he has to come whether he's going to be back in September. And Bernardeschi also, and you got De Sciglio, and then you have Cuadrado. So, and then of course, let's not forget the COVID issue with the money and the revenue and all that.
Over $200 million.
And now you need to find a player that's going to replace.
And I just want to add something to Ludo by you saying that the project did change. Arriva Bene did come out, the sporting director, saying that the change is that Juventus did not renew with Paulo Dybala. There was a change in January with the arrival of Vlahovic. The project change and the tactical setup of the squad. It was a very clear and respectful meeting. So it seems like it did change a lot of that. Anto, I know you're always a huge advocate of Paulo Dybala and stuff like that, but lately we've been hearing a lot. Ludo's been saying his piece on why he doesn't think he's the fit. Has anything changed on your part in terms of Dybala and Juventus, or if they're making a mistake or there's a smart move on your part?
Listen, the only mistake from my point of view that Juventus is making is that I don't think they actually have the replacement per se, the pure replacement of Dybala. Mm-hmm. So they taking the gamble. They said we'd rather to get rid of this damaged good player, which was excellent the first few years that he played with us, and he paid high dividend, than keep somebody that is damaged and he cannot be fixed. That's why Juventus thinks.
A free agent, though, Anto, by the way, he's going to be.
I know. AC Milan let Donnarumma go as a free agent, and he's going to let Kessié go in as a free agent. The demand...
Hakan, too, you left.
The demand that those people have, those players have, because of their charisma, because of their leadership, because of what they have done historically for the team, it's extremely high, and it not necessarily fits within the plans that Juventus has for the future.
But
no, don't forget.
It's not only Juventus.
Yeah,
it's also Inter. all the contracts renewals
Right.
to date, even for Inter, they have been frozen.
Yeah.
They have been frozen until the end of the season.
Right. We're dealing with a huge revenue loss, like Ludovico was saying right now. Inter has got a huge revenue loss. Juventus has got a huge revenue loss. I mean, one of the few teams is still, almost in. With the balance of the money and the coming in and the going out is the AC Milan, because everybody's trying to now embrace the leadership that this AC Milan squad has, starting from Maldini, Gazidis, and everybody else, to buy not necessarily big name, but name that they can they can work and they can be effective to push the project that AC Milan has within the next couple of years.
And if I have to spend $50-60 million before tax in signing what's his name, Dybala, I spend that money either on Zaniolo or Luis Alberto, and I'm done.
But let me just say one more thing, Ludo.
That's my opinion.
But this is not even a great idea. I'll tell you the reasons why.
I think Juventus, those two are the replacements for.
Let me tell you why I'm against that. I will invest the money on an unknown kid, 100% unknown. I would say somebody that is coming out from the bottom and is starting to establish himself, and not on a big name.
Berardi.
Bravo. I was about to say it,
But
when you read my mind. So let me say,
I
let me
didn't
finish.
hear the play. I'm sorry.
Berardi.
He said Berardi.
Oh, Domenico.
Right, to replace Dybala.
Oh my God,
Yes.
why not? He's got the
Vlahovic.
skills.
Position-wise,
Let me just say this. Let me end this discussion about Dybala. Juventus lost against Villarreal, having that payroll, and Villarreal won, having just the entire Villarreal could have been bought with Vlahovic salary, the transfer for Vlahovic. How the hell do you justify something like that?
Okay, and I gotta hear Wayne's perspective on this. Wayne, first of all, I gotta hear what you think of Dybala generally. And what do you think he brought to the season? Because there's a lot of mixed opinions in terms of he's asking for a lot, but he doesn't guarantee you a lot of games. Are you a fan of his? And do you think if they split ways, do you think this is the right decision? And you already talked about a possible replacement.
Dybala is a fuori classe. He's such a high talent. His ceiling, when he's on, he's unplayable. His talent is second to none. He has almost like the highest of all elite levels, right? You think of the greatest players, and he's somebody who can do it. You saw his goal over the weekend. He takes one touch and he puts the goal into the back of the net. That's the name of the game, right? I watched him from Palermo all the way up now, these past years. It really did hurt me to see him go to Palermo, because my team that I support, they went and bought Iturbe.
He didn't work out.
That kind of speaks for itself. I'm like, still recovering from that purchase. But he is phenomenal, yet on the other side, Antonio brings up debt, right? And Juventus is a pragmatic team, the way that they run it. It's if you don't fit and you're taking up part of this pie that, well, it's all about the greater good at Juventus, fino alla fine, but that also transpires into the entire organization.
It's
right?
very cutthroat, very
It's
personal.
cutthroat.
Yeah.
It's to the end, no matter how we get there, by any means
Very
necessary.
business savvy.
Very business.
well, the shirt
underrated.
comes first before any other play, and we see it with Marchisio, we saw with Del Piero,
Buffon,
and the other players. That's it. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
And what about Ronaldo? Ronaldo, Allegri comes in,
Well, that's
and I think
different.
Allegri is part of the problem.
Ronaldo
anyway.
wanted to go. That was different.
And even though he is this phenomenal talent, maybe once in a generation type, you can't re-sign him. He's going to suck up to, he's going to eat way too much of the pie of the salaries, right? And why wouldn't I go get Berardi or name your right wing or...
I hope AC Milan gets Berardi, Wayne.
Di Maria even, well, I think he might go to Milan. I have a strange feeling about that. Or Di Maria, or anybody else, Zaniolo, whoever it might be, who's going to at least play, you plan for them to play 3/4 of the season, but you go into every season knowing that Dybala might only get you 50 to 60% of the games. And what is that? That's not enough for a team that wants to go on and win the Scudetto.
Especially the future captain, too.
It's not
Right.
enough. It's not enough.
So
Wait,
you
I
agree-
don't think at this point, and I've said this over and over again, I don't think it's about the Scudetto anymore. Juventus fans cannot be happy, we're going to win the Scudetto. You want 30, 35, 37, whatever it might be, it doesn't matter. It's time for Juventus to create a solid project that brings them to the same level as a Real Madrid, has Liverpool, Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Right now, Juventus is in 9th place.
What about AC Milan? You name
for
it, those three.
revenue.
You should bring
in
AC
9th
Milan.
place. Napoli is 21, 22. But Juventus is in 9th place.
Massive revenue.
You are going to make Champions League. Scudetto, it comes, but you want to create solid a base, a team that will
foundation.
take you
Base.
to the future
Foundation,
to compete in the Champions League, and that's what Juventus is lacking, that proper project, and that's what these two, Cherubini and Arrivabene, that's what they're trying to do,
Well said.
to create a team that will take them to the next level in Europe.
Well, Ludo,
I don't think it's more about Serie A anymore with Juventus.
I
I,
get-
think Serie A is not
Big picture.
I got
Yeah.
news.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
news for
picture
you, Ludo.
outside of Italy confines.
Let me
That's
expand on
I
what
think.
Ludo is saying. Arriva Bene, it was one of those big projects that Ferrari embraced when they were trying to put the post-Schumacher era and moving forward. But Arriva Bene didn't really, do the job that he was asked to do. Now Arriva Bene is one sort of Arriva Male. In other words, he comes in and Juventus is actually going everywhere except for up and competing at the highest level. Hold on. Cherubini is the other issue. Juventus needs, I think, new material with leadership skills starting from the very top. Agnelli cannot really manage this, even though he's got the input everywhere. Agnelli should stay out. That's what everybody's saying. I know from Juventus fan, they said Agnelli should never get involved with the decision or every week decision with the team. Having said that, I think Juventus should, money is very important, but Juventus sells shirts. You do not want to start a season without any big names. Dybala goes, they wanted to spend just as much to get another Ronaldo or another huge name. You can never really bring, Berardi is an excellent player. They just wish they can get it. I don't think Berardi is going to go anyway, because Berardi, I don't think is so much in love with Juventus, but Juventus needs a big name, huge name, in order to get the fan.
I don't think
in order to get to the fan.
I don't think it's about the band-aid. I think the time of the band-aids that Juventus in the past 4 or 5 years trying to put a band-aid here and a band-aid there, I think it's those days are over. And Juventus fans cannot be happy. Oh, we beat the Scudetto. Oh, we won the Scudetto. Oh, we beat Inter. Juventus fans cannot say, oh, now I'm happy. That's enough. You need to look further than the Scudetto, than Italy, than Serie A. Antonio, it's not about the shirts. Look at Juventus, the past 4 years being eliminated in the round of 16, how much money they lost from UEFA. We're talking about at least $100 million of revenue, of income, because of bad programming, bad decisions. Lyon eliminated by Ajax, by Villarreal, Porto. That's 4.
But you have to start from all the way from the back. Bonucci, Chiellini, everybody's got to go.
So this is why now you have this policy. You have this new way of thinking. Everything is frozen. Every penny spent is thought about it not once, not twice, but 10 to 15 times. And you want to create a solid project. I personally, I'm not a Juventus fan. I personally agree with the line that Juventus is trying to do with the project that they're trying to implement and the mentality that they're trying to establish.
I agree.
Enough about thinking about Italy. We need to look further. Enough of these Italian teams getting eliminated in January, February. Even I think it's also the errors of the. Well, it's a mental issue that the Italian teams have when they reach Europe and they get there in January and February. But it's also about the preparation that they do when the season starts, that these teams, when they get to January and February, they're dead. Yeah. Physically, they're not on top of their games. And that's one of the issues why they get eliminated from Champions League, because some of them do qualify, most of them do qualify, but then they're tired. But also, it's the mental approach. It's that mental approach. To Juventus, they beat Salernitana 3 years, third year in a row that they were eliminated from Champions League. They won the Serie A game like this.
Yeah.
They're able to bounce back immediately from being eliminated.
Ludo, I think you said, first of all, if you could talk straight to the mic, because for the audio listeners, they'd appreciate that more. I know you get excited and stuff. A lot of people do that. Anto actually learned how to do it better than that.
Oh, thanks, Mike. That's a compliment.
But Ludo, I think I agree with you 100% on that part. It's not just Juventus too. I feel like it is an Italian mentality that they need like a rebrand, especially in Europe. I feel like a lot of the European teams aren't scared of the names anymore, like they are maybe maybe not Serie A this season, but was in the past. Oh, you see Juventus, you see Milan. A mid-table team would get scared, or maybe you could say roll over, air quotes on roll over and stuff like that. But I do feel like they got to fortify something better, because getting eliminated, as you said before, this early in the Champions League is not a good look for the Italian teams, not a good look for the league overall, and there's got to be huge improvements on that.
I think they smell blood, the teams from outside Italy.
Because they know they could do something, so they're not scared. There's no fear
and to knock off
anymore.
A big name
100%.
is massive for them.
100%. But moving on to other teams in Italy
So we're done with Dybala. We said goodbye to Dybala.
Yeah, I think we're done with Dybala. We talked a huge amount.
But he's not going to go to Italy though. He's not on Inter's plans.
I mean, that's why I was going to talk about a possible destination that people are talking about where Dybala could go is the team that we are talking about next, Inter, who actually did end up drawing with Fiorentina 1-1. So we talked about last week where they also dropped points. We talked about the importance of De Vrij and especially Brozovic. If you didn't know his importance then, you definitely know his importance now, because Fiorentina probably could have won this game, and probably you could say they had the better chances to win this game. They looked hungrier than them. Inter looked lethargic. They didn't have any grinta. They weren't hungry. They looked horrendous. And to top it off, and to top everything off, Inter only have 2 wins in their past 9 Serie A games. This is the reigning champions over here, and this is not acceptable for any top tier team. A lot of people are saying, when is Inter going to come out of this slump? What's going to happen? A lot of people blame Inzaghi, but they're still in this slump and they cannot get out of it. And they also play Juventus next, so who knows if that slump's going to continue or not. Wayne, first of all, we never got your thoughts on when Inzaghi came to Inter, and if you thought he'd be a good fit, or did you think he'd repeat and win the Scudetto again? First, I want to hear your thoughts on that. Then tell me about the slump that they're in, because it's in a horrible form, and what do you think the factors of this are?
I thought it was a daring but cool move by Inter management. I think what he showed at Lazio was profound. He did such a good job there. They played great football. That was a very good Lazio side that he had. He goes to Inter, but I think the reason why he's not going to win the Scudetto now is because this is his players. He went from Lukaku to Dzeko. He went from Hakimi to Dumfries. That's a big drop-off. Although I like Dumfries, but Hakimi was a terrific player. Lukaku dominated the league.
But they were doing good up to this point, though.
They
Until
were.
like 2 months ago, everyone was saying, they're going to repeat it, they're going to win again. But what changed? Is it the coach? What is it?
I think it's that it's a 38-week season, and it's long. And if you want to go out and you want to win this thing, this marathon, then you need players and horses who can run that race. And unfortunately, it's not these guys.
And now for Inzaghi, though, what do you think of Inzaghi? Do you think he has a huge part in this? Do you think he did a good job thus far?
I think he's done a great job.
Get out of this,
from what he took over at Inter when Conte left, right? He had
it was a
very
second
good
ship too, almost, right?
Yes.
In a situation where the media was going crazy on them, they sold their best players, the coach left, and all this stuff.
Yes, so he has to plug in these holes, right?
Yes.
Yet he keeps them playing an attacking brand of football, one that takes it to the opposition. A large part of that is due to Brozovic's ability to protect the defense and also to play the ball in possession and move it forward. He's an incredible player, perhaps the best player in the league. So he does a great job in finding that out. But to me, it just comes down to he got the most out of Dzeko. No fan, I think, of Serie A would have said Dzeko's going to go out and play this well as he did. But eventually, it's like if you sit at the casino long enough and you go to the roulette table or you play poker, eventually the house is going to win.
Yeah.
And Inter took a stopgap approach, and now the house is going to win because they don't have a star. They don't have a 30-year-old who's going to bang in goals all season long. They have a guy who's a very good legend, someone who's been around, who will put in goals here and there. But what he did against Fiorentina, missing those sitters, that's crazy. That's not good enough. That's like, to me, livello basso, like real low.
So you
to
think
miss those.
you think the race is over for them? You do not think they're going to come back?
I think they're done. Sadly, because a part of me wanted Inter to win. Right now, I really would like to see Napoli win. I think Milan's going to pull away with it. But it's
Wait,
over.
I'm liking you. I got to tell you something. First of all, I mean, I really like what you just said right now, not to take anything away from Ludo. Second of all, you are sitting on Peter's chair. Peter is a big Inter fan. If Peter would have heard you saying that Inter is done, he would have come and choke you.
I'm feeling something right now.
What?
It's the ghost of Peter.
Having said that, I think I agree with you 100%. I think Inter, they overplayed their hands. Talking about in casino styles, gambling style, they actually overplayed their hands. They were winning, then they thought that they can win, and then all the chips, they ran out of chips. And the house won right now. Well, I think that it's not over yet because the stats, we know it. Soccer can get very crazy. But I seen Inter lethargic, like Mike said, no energy on the field. And I do not understand. I like to know from you and Ludo, what do you think about Inzaghi keeping Dzeko all the time to the very end? This is one of the oldest players.
We explained that last week.
Yeah, we talked
He
about
takes
it.
Lautaro out, but that doesn't make any sense to me. I wish
crazy.
somebody would just hit me on the head and say, just because he's good with the head. But it's not scoring with his head lately.
Speaking of beating on the head, it's like beating a dead horse to just keep him in and let him
overplay. It's like Conte almost in a sense where he doesn't.
Keeps him there
or
because
Sarri in a
of
sense.
the
hold up play.
the headers, and then he's also one of those players that knows how to play back to the
Goal.
net,
Yeah.
in shielding the ball, stopping the ball, and waiting for the team to come up. But of course, if you lack penetrations, penetrating into the box, then that becomes a little bit difficult. But in my opinion, I think he's there mostly because he can head the ball at any given time. You get a nice cross, and you can head the ball at any time. But what I'm about to say, you're probably going to get upset because I know what you think about certain issues.
It's okay.
Now, the past 3 games without Brozovic, Inter, I believe, I wrote it right here, 2 ties and 1 loss without Brozovic. So 11 points less than last season in 30 games.
At this point.
Yes.
Yes.
7 points Inter got in the last 21 that were available. They only got 7. And 1 victory in the last 7 games.
Wow.
So now, to all due respect for Brozovic, by all means, but he's not Maradona.
No.
We cannot say that Inter, because Brozovic, we are losing, we are not getting points, and we're not performing because Brozovic is not playing. Absolutely not.
It's deeper than that.
Right, it's deeper than that. Number one, they lost, they lack of freshness. They're not in shape. And here I blame also a little bit Inzaghi. And I tell you what, he tried Barella being a regista 2 weeks ago.
He's exhausted.
No, it was not. He can do it. You cannot, even though he's young and he's able, I think he can become a regista, but it's going to take time.
Yes.
It's going to take years, not in one game. Yesterday, he tried in the regista, the Michael famous player, the guy who came from Milan. I can never pronounce his name.
Chalanolu.
Okay, Chalanolu.
Hakan, just say Hakan.
Hakan, okay.
Yeah.
He was regista and it also didn't work. But what I blame a little bit Inzaghi for, a few other coaches in Serie A, when they were in similar situation, they found alternatives, way of mixing the cards, of mixing the formation, mixing players, trying something new ideas. Inzaghi, and I think here where he lacks the experience, hasn't tried anything new. With Conte, he would have tried something because I think Conte Inter would have been in a different position than they are now. And he would have tried something because he has more experience than Inzaghi. And that's where I think I blame Inzaghi for. Not trying something new, not new ideas.
Yeah,
3-5-2, 3-5-2, 3-5-2.
Whatever,
That's
mixing
it.
a little bit the cards on the table, plays in different
That's a good
positions,
point.
coming up.
It's a
good point.
He hasn't done that.
Like
And-
Conte, would you say though? Similar to Conte
Yes.
in a sense?
Well, not the similar style of play because, like you said, you don't have those players.
Yeah.
You don't have those players anymore. But change things around a
Refreshing,
little bit.
more
New
refreshing.
ideas, refreshing. Even though he doesn't like Spalletti, but Spalletti has
changes
tried
it. Yeah, he
different,
does.
different things, and other coaches do try different
They reinvent.
styles, reinvent,
Based on the players you have.
because you do have the roster. But you cannot say Brozovic, we love because of no. Brozovic is not Maradona. He cannot change a game, and I don't think he cannot.
But
he
he's
can
a big
give you
key.
that balance.
He is a
I
big
agree,
key.
but he can give you that balance. But I don't think he can. Is that play that makes the difference whether you lose or win? That's what I'm trying to say.
No, just
Okay, I
say
get
when
what
you
you're
see
saying.
that you say that you're not gonna like. I like everything you said. I said you're not gonna like.
No,
but
that
I-
Conte would have been Inter with Conte would not be in this situation currently because of the
I don't
experience.
know
That's
about
my
that.
opinion.
I
Okay,
don't
that's
know about
fair.
But I think that's an incredible point by Ludo. Like, part of why you pay a manager so much money is that when times get tough, that you will find a solution. You don't just pay them, you play the 4-2-3-1, you have zonal marking, and you need your right wing to open up play. He's the key.
Put on
And-
auto drive or something.
Auto drive,
It doesn't work like that all the time.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then what happens when things get a little bit...
Sticky.
Then
Right.
what?
What do you do now? Okay, now
Right.
I have no ideas. I'm lack of.
That's not good enough.
No. But this day and age, too, calcio, compared to the last few decades, calcio has advanced. Everything got more difficult. Players got more accessible. You got more accessibility to more stats, stuff like that. So I feel like it's kind of old thinking for a lot of these coaches to stick to the same tactic, same formation, especially with all the information now too. You know, the sport evolved and so much. And for Inzaghi to not, knowing that you have a star midfielder like Brozovic that does a lot of the dirty work, maybe if need to be, do change a formation. Does it have to be a three-man back line all the time? De Vrij is injured, so you can risk playing a center back that's not on the same level as your as the rest of your players. Have D'Ambrosio there, have Di Marco there.
You got
I'm
Ranocchia.
sorry,
You got Ranocchia.
Ranocchia. They're not the same level as Skriniar's over there. Bastoni's the same
Even
there.
Inzaghi
So-
on the bench. Have you noticed Inzaghi the past 3-4 weeks is much calmer? He's not as agitated as he was in the past.
Yeah.
His eyes are not open like he was in the past. He's not involved on the sideline like he was to.
Yeah.
I feel
What do
like
you
that
mean by
he's
that?
drained out. I feel that
all that
there's-
pressure's on him, and
yes,
just
it's
like
the pressure, it's that weight on his shoulder that he's
Interesting.
basically watching the game. He's watching his players. He's talking, but it's not the same Inzaghi as we saw.
I'll tell you what's happening, and then you guys say whether I'm right or wrong. Okay, let me just say what's happening. He's been a little bit up and down between AC Milan and Inter Milan into the leadership coming up to this point. So now all the AC Milan crowd lives rent-free into the head of Inzaghi.
How do you know that phrase?
I'm telling you, once you establish yourself, you take over a space, and especially into the head of Inzaghi, and you're not paying rent, you can just do as much damage as you want. You can destroy his head, you can just mess around his brain. The guy is all over the places. Ludo just said it. He's not jumping anymore. The guy used to be like a shrimp, up and down, screaming and yelling. Right now, it's true. It's like he's got 20 camomiles before even the game starts.
It looks like he got
The
neutered.
guy's on life support. So I just hope that he stays like that,
Yeah.
and we leave it at that. Right, Ludo? Because I got to be honest with you. If AC Milan is not going to win, I'd rather Napoli to win. That's it.
I mean,
And
Anto.
I like your idea that said you think that AC Milan.
I think it's Milan's.
I mean, Anto, at the end of the day, you're obviously exaggerating. For the people that don't know Antonio, Anto's going a little crazy. Inter are still right there at the end of the day.
I just said that.
they're 6 points away, but they still have their game in hand with Bologna. So it's right there for the taking. But there's a lot of question marks for me with Inzaghi, because I've been saying the past few weeks, this rut's still here. Is he gonna jump out of it? What's going on? And the pressure is piling. The media, the player, everyone's getting tired. I don't know. Is he cracking under this pressure? Is he gonna get out of this hump? I mean, only time will tell. But a lot of question marks for me with Inzaghi, who I give a lot of credit for had this sinking ship. He put, like Wayne was saying, he was plugging a lot of holes. But now, when there's a real bump in the road, and he seems like he's not steering it straight in that road that he's supposed to go. So I don't know how I feel anymore. We still got to wait to see how the season ends.
For me,
but
it's
for
not
now,
8
I'm a little
games
nervous
left.
for them.
For me, it's not 8 games left, 1 game remaining. For me, personally, ultimatum. April 3rd against Juventus. For me, that's the game.
Really?
That's it.
Go ahead,
After
Wayne.
that,
Shoot it.
finito.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
I think there's 3 reasons why Inter doesn't win. They're too cold. They're not going to bounce back. There's not going to be this complete revolution where they're just going to turn back on. Also, you have Çalhanoğlu. Barella, Brozovic, they're tired. Even when Brozovic is going to come back, he's not going to be the horse he was at the beginning of this race.
You're right.
Barella, he looks exhausted. And Çalhanoğlu, he does not have the personality or character to lead them out of this hard time.
No, I mean, you definitely have a point on this, Wayne. I'm really interested to see when are they going to snap out of this? Because like we said before, I mean, considering that they only won 2 games, considering they only won 2 games in their last 9 Serie A games, if they didn't have this, to me it seems like a disaster run. They would have would have been points ahead of any other competition. They would have won this comfortably.
11 points behind last season.
Listen,
Yeah, but I'm
in
just saying.
2022, they're like a middle tier team.
But Ludo, if they had a decent run, if they didn't have, no one expected this to be this bad. They would have been well ahead of Milan, Napoli, Juventus.
Well, if we will not penalize, I don't think will be the case.
Okay, Anto, enough with that.
Wayne, listen to
Wayne,
me.
what do you think?
Wayne, you can shoot
no.
it. No, Wayne. Tell me about Lautaro. That's the main
my
problem. That nobody
gosh.
wants to talk about it. Tell me about it.
Stinks like dead fish.
Oh my God.
Oh.
It's something.
I mean-
I think the game is getting to his head. What's the problem?
I mean,
with
he's
this
had
guy
2
here?
big goals recently, right?
Yeah.
But otherwise,
Salernitana.
it's not to win the Scudetto. It's not just 2 games. It's not 2 big goals. You got to go out there and do it every game, man. You got to show that consistency. That's what it is to be a big time player.
No,
Why
yeah,
he gets
I
subbed
agree.
all the
But-
time? Inzaghi says the sub first. He subs
I think he
Lautaro
doesn't show
first.
it. He doesn't have it in his heart this season. I think not having Lautaro, not having Lukaku there, it's a big loss for him. It's not the same connection with him and Dzeko, and it's really hurt him. But I also think that Di Marco is blood on Inzaghi's hands. To not be doing something more useful to him,
You're right.
with him, that's not good. He was a very good player.
You get Caicedo. I mean, this guy with Lazio, last 5 minutes, you put him in, he scored. Okay, it was a lucky thing. But you got this guy. You got him just to play 3 minutes?
He's barely
Yeah.
playing it.
Yeah.
Only 2 appearances.
You're right,
3 minutes.
Ludo.
It's not good.
It's a matter of, reinventing. Other coaches have done it, and I feel that Inzaghi does not have the experience to reinvent and refresh this team in order to change something and make and get solid results.
There's definitely a lot of problems for Inter, just like Juventus that we're talking about. But on the other side of Milano, where there's a lot more winning and stuff going on, Milan did manage to get a 1-0 win against Cagliari, who missed a boatload of chances. And just when you thought that they were going to pay for it at the end, hitting a crossbar, they managed to leave Sardinia unscathed, get the 1-0 win, which was huge from them with a beautiful Benacer, Al-Vali. Me and Anto watched that live. But Anto, this was huge, not just because of the Scudetto race, but this was after Inter drew with Fiorentina. So there was a lot on the plate already, keeping that distance with Napoli and capitalizing on Inter. Before the game started, what were your thoughts going through, and were you confident at all?
Yes, and I told you were trying to instigate me, Mr. Anto. Oh my God, what are you saying? What do you think? My God, if you guys don't win today, it's gonna be baby. Listen, let me just say something. The way I seen AC Milan playing the last couple of games, the focus and the intensity that you see on the field, it's way over the top. Ibrahimovic, whether it's inside of the field or whether it's outside the field, is a big factor. Playing or not playing. This Giroud draws a lot of anger into everybody. Giroud demands a lot from everybody else too. Yeah. And Giroud is a high intensity player. I didn't think he had that kind of leadership role within a squad like that. I'm sure him and Ibra, they talked and they said, when I'm not on the field, you do the yelling. So because they may not looking at me. What I want to say about AC Milan is this. Everybody's saying that the destiny is on your hand. I think the numbers, they speak very clearly. We have 8 games, 4 at home and 4 away. And I'm going to say it one more time right now. Okay? The last 2 games, which on the paper, they look the most difficult for us, which is Atalanta and Sassuolo. If the math gives me, agrees with my crazy mentality, AC Milan is going to take the Campionato 2 weeks before the end.
Whoa. Wow, not the final day?
I am telling you. It's not going to the final day.
Wow, okay.
AC Milan has got the number to take the Campionato 2 weeks before. Now, can I be wrong? Maybe. But I think I'm very confident that this is going to happen.
Wow.
Ludo, what do you think based on his predictions?
No,
and
I
everything?
like he said, I like the way Milan played the last couple of games. Very aggressive. It's not, Cagliari is not an easy team. They're, I think, the only team in Serie A that follows you all over the field, and they still mark you man to man, and they follow you everywhere.
That's
And they're
true.
Not
very,
zonal, yeah.
and they're very intense, and they do need points as well.
To stay up. Yeah.
But what I give a lot of credit is how Pioli has been able to structure to put Giroud on the field, and he does a lot of work. He does a lot of work, and he helps the team. He knows when to hold the ball. He knows when to lay it back. He knows who to give the ball to. He knows when to turn. He creates that unpredictableness around him that enables Milan to find that goal, to find that winning shot or winning goal. And then on top of that, you got two center backs, the defense that, to me, they became husband and wife.
Tomori and Kalulu has formed incredible partnership.
They know each other really well.
Inseparable.
They know each other really well. The movements and the marking and position wise, the way they move and control the defense. And then you have a goalkeeper that the first year in Serie A, well, he was injured, but now I think he has the team and the defense under control, and he dove into the Serie A championship with that personality.
Don't forget Tio
and
Hernandez and
character.
Calabria too. So we have a four line back that is just it's like the wall of Berlin,
The Milan's
the
team,
wall of China, the great wall of China.
Milan's team was born to attack. That's a team that's put on the field to attack and win the games. But you also have that spinal cord in the middle that, okay, I'm going to find the goal, I'm going to score, but you're not going to score on me.
Go ahead, Wayne.
There's a toughness in that midfield, which I really like. So I think of Pioli's tactics, and he starts off with this great wall of China, like Anto is saying, right? And that helps them build. Even Magnan, he's been incredible, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Stupendous. Literally.
And
So
then
good.
he feeds out to the wings. He's got like the best left back in the world, arguably, with Teo Hernandez, right? But, you know, typically when you look at the positioning and the movement of a left back, they overlap their winger, right? Then they go down and they get across. And he does not do that. He cuts through the center of the pitch.
Yeah, he runs centrally, goes for goal.
It's
himself.
crazy.
Yeah.
Straight down.
And who's his
Like a
partner?
laser.
Leao. So that is incredibly scary. It's perfectly built for Pioli's tactics because he's got those hard-nosed guys. Benacer is a little bit more creative than Tonali, but the two of them together are really tough to pass because they're either going to tackle, they're going to get the ball back very quickly, or they're going to make a deadly pass because both of them can, even though I would say Benacer is the bit more crafty of the two. I don't even think it's that big of a deal that Kessi's not going to be there. If he moves on, oh well, they'll get a stop.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Wayne, what do you think about this Milan, the start of the season, and how do you think they matured, and especially Pioli? As a coach, what do you think of him
I think
overall?
I looked at them and I saw a bunch of guys put together, and I was like, yeah, they're pretty good, but they weren't perfect. But this season in Serie A, you actually didn't need to be perfect. It's one of those weird years where if a team was just really good, but not necessarily great, that they're going to get away with it. But it's going to be that defense, those deadly wings, and those hard-nosed midfielders that are going to win the league, in my opinion, man. And they did start out, I thought, like, they got the points, but they didn't look as fluid. The tactics, or I should say just the rhythm of their play was not as clean as what we see now, because now they have an identity. And that should be scary for the rest of the league, because when they go into this summer, they can look at it and say, oh, I need 1-2 players here, and that's it.
Yeah.
Their wage bill is much lower. Their run, very efficient. Imagine like one of the best German companies in the world, right? Everything is going to be on time.
And Wayne, you speaking of wage bill, I have this stat here. In 2018-2019 season for Milan, their wage bill was 143 million, and they finished in 5th place. This season, their wage bill is incredible decrease, 82 million, and they're currently in first place. So a lot of credit definitely goes to Maldini. He ever since he came in, I
that
feel
will
like
change soon.
he cleaned house. He even got Zidis. We
When
gotta
you have to,
include.
when you have
what
to
are you
renew,
saying? Wait, what
when
are
you have to
saying,
renew
Luke?
those
Alright,
players,
don't worry about it.
those players
He's
are going
picking-
to knock.
Don't worry about
you
it.
know that.
That was
Listen,
Porto.
these guys are young.
Yeah.
They got an opportunity.
But we're gonna get a
They're
lot more money,
performing.
Ludo. We're getting a
They're
lot more
You're gonna
money.
get a lot of money.
You're going to get money. They're going to want their money. Now, when you have to
100%.
renew,
Yeah, there are
so
young
you're
players.
You're not going to be 82. Now you're going to be
Yeah.
100.
But
It's temporary. I understand what
I'm
you're saying.
giving. I am
It's
giving them
temporary.
credit in terms of. I feel like a lot of people gotta follow the business model that Milan's going right here, because they knew they were in a bad state. A decade of not winning. Mediocre finishes for a huge club, a historical club like Milan, and now they got someone that Mr. Milan himself, Maldini, that cares about the club. You cut him open, he's black and red, and he's showing. A lot of these players look up to him because he was only joining Milan if he believed in the project, and that's exactly what he did. Now players like Kalulu, players like Tomori, players like Theo look up to him, and now they have players like Zlatan that has the winning mentality, Giroud, and they really believe they could do something special.
And everyone was criticizing De Laurentiis, his way of doing business, and now those other teams, they are copying from. Some of them are copying from De Laurentiis' project
I
as
love
far
De
as
Laurentiis.
revenue, spending money. Juventus, Inter, they're doing the same thing because now the controls are going to be tougher, and you cannot have.
ADL does great in terms of that balance, having the books balanced, not spending so much, and the biggest thing being debt free. I think that's a goal for all the clubs. Wayne,
To your point, Michael, I
Yeah.
think the scariest thing for everybody else in the rest of the league to watch out for is that these guys that Maldini has brought in, he instills the values, and they all get behind the badge.
Exactly. It's like a brotherhood, but it's like
It's
a
a
brotherhood.
That's
They-
what
They
counts,
fight to the
Mike.
death
That's
for
the
each other.
badge, the
100%.
badge.
Yeah, 100%.
It stops being a war. I'm going to steal this line from Gamora. It stops being a war, and it becomes a crusade.
Wow.
There you go.
But that
Now
the
we need
biggest
to get to the next level. Now we have to
It's
start
true.
thinking beyond Serie A. How do we bring that Serie A mentality into Europe?
I do believe, though, with all the disarray with some teams that are going through, Milan have really built. I think you could say they're the most
Solid.
united team,
Identity.
like a brotherhood. Like everyone believes another. Everyone would sacrifice
Agreed.
another. No one is on like you see the situation with Dybala. There's some players that aren't fully there. For Milan, I believe every single player on that roster loves one another and will fight to the death. And I think that's one of the most important things, especially fighting for the Scudetto. So that's
Go
why I
ahead,
feel like
Wayne,
they
go
can
ahead.
really they
Go
can
ahead.
really do
I
this.
pledge allegiance to the flag of Milan.
There
That's
you go.
true. Everyone believes in
Listen,
it. Everyone
one
believes in
thing
it.
that a lot of people that really don't get to see it,
Yeah.
and I don't go 1 week without just reading everything about it.
Look how excited you are, Anto, by the
not
way. Look, all the
excited.
smiles. Look at you, all perky and stuff.
A lot of people, they do not realize that unpredictability that we have at every position, even coming out from the defensive line. You don't see Romagnoli guessing around or throwing the ball all the time with a side pass. You see Kalulu going vertical. You see Theo Hernandez like Wayne said, like a laser going straight into the middle. You see Florenzi. Florenzi, to me, I never liked the idea of AC Milan getting Florenzi. Florenzi is a new Florenzi that I remember. Reborn.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with this guy.
The city of Milano changed the day that the derby was played.
Yeah.
Those last 15, 20 minutes, the coin flipped that Inter lost that derby, Milan won, and that's what
The tides
the
changed.
tide changed.
correct.
No, I agree
But
with you.
also what Milan found and Milan is able to do, because if you remember, Milan was inconsistent with the small teams.
Yes.
And now they learned how to win those games. Even 1-0 or very close win, but they learned how to deal with those mistakes that they made and losing points along the way with the small teams, just like Napoli did.
Well said.
Listen, even
No.
I'm not gonna say that just to make up a point. We could have had an extra 4 or 5 points. I mean, there were some few mistakes made. I mean, the legit mistake. I mean, everybody gets some controversies call,
But everything gets averaged out.
it's
It's
averaged
true.
You
down.
don't get
So,
the
but,
penalty this
you
week.
know,
You're going to get it in a couple of
That's
weeks.
how it
I don't
is.
get
it is
everything else.
what it is, and let's hope that on the future things they get a little better. But we could have been sitting right now today talking about AC Milan having 7-8 points on the second place Napoli. But again, I want to compliment the ADL, which is Ludo's owner, because
Ludo's owner.
He owns me.
ADL is the owner of Bari. Bari is my
Your
hometown, and it's coming to Serie B. Wayne, before we started the podcast, I said, Antonio, Bari is coming to Serie B, and we're gonna come to Serie A too, Wayne, because we're not stopping too.
I think they're gonna be Milan.
And I don't know about that.
If those fans get to the Stadio San Nicola, it might be over.
If
They
you're
might
on my
get,
town, I'm taking you over there. And if I'm
would
not
love to
there,
go.
I got a lot of connections.
How about me, Anto? If I come
I
there,
don't know
are you gonna
about
pick up
you.
the phone for me?
All right.
Okay. But moving on, we're talking about De Laurentiis, all this stuff, talking about Bari, talked about Milan, and now we gotta talk about Napoli. I think this was, I know Ludo's like, oh boy, my time to shine over here. But let me just lay the stage a little bit. Deulofeu scored a great goal. Ex-Milan player. I'm sure Anto was celebrating somewhere.
I was not celebrating.
Direct rival. I'm sure you know,
I
maybe a
wasn't
little
even watching
smirk.
the game. I couldn't watch. I was playing with Ludo.
But regardless, they were up 1-0. Me and Ludo were texting during the game, say, oh boy, what's going on? Will they come back? And of course, the hero of the day, Victor Osimhen, who we've been talking about so much this season. He scored 2 goals, 2 beautiful goals. That guy with his head, he's incredible. That guy could leap over mountains. He could score.
And what I
He's
said
still
this week-
so young. And that's what I'm going to go to. Ludo, I want to lay this off to you. Last podcast, you said with the remaining Serie A matches, Osimhen's going to get 9 to 10 goals at the end of the season. And now he already has 2 goals. First of all, what does this say for Osimhen, and more importantly, what does it say for Napoli to come back, losing against Udinese, who's, they're not an easy team, and win 2-1? Does your stance on Napoli change at all from last week based on this comeback win?
No.
How do you feel overall?
Absolutely not. I always look. I do not look on top. I look down. I always look at the 5th place team. I'm very.
You don't think
I'm very-
optimistically, Ludo?
No.
Why not?
Day by day, game by
You
day.
gotta
If
dream.
it happens,
What's the point of
but
living without dreaming?
It happens. It happened already in the past, and I like the Napoli fans that, to my understanding, over the years they have matured a little bit. Let's take it day by day. Let's not say certain words. Let's not mention certain things.
It's only 3 points.
Let's always carry our little
Cornicello.
cornicino in our pocket. Keep quiet. Day by day, day by day. We'll support the team, and
Very superstitious.
They know what. Very.
If
but
I
it's
tell
not
you what
only
he told
me.
me on the car, you're not gonna believe me.
It's not only me. It's the entire
City.
population of the Napoli fan base that we've been through this before. Past 30 years, a few times we've been through this, and it doesn't make sense to get you and then you're going to be this day by day. I think the team is playing together. Against Udinese, they came to Napoli with the fire in their eyes.
Yeah.
They were very concentrated. And what often Spalletti does, he misses, he screws up the initial formation. Okay? So we did start with the 4-3-3 against Udinese, and it was not working. I think Anguissa was out of position behind Osimhen. Fabian Ruiz never came out of the locker room.
No good
It
for
felt
him.
that Napoli was like, it was frozen. They were not
Stiff.
going. Stiff. We were not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Then, but what I give Spalletti a lot of credit is he's able to change
Adapt.
things on the fly.
Exactly.
So now we come out of the locker room and we go back to the 4-2-3-1. Now you make that substitution. You put Mertens in.
Take out Fabian.
That he changed. Take in Fabian. Drop Anguissa next to Lobotka. And I think Insigne, second half, he played the best second half, to my opinion, in this season in Napoli. I saw him in the game, the passing, the penetrating, taking on a man 1v1, and that changed the game. And then you have that player, that Osimhen, that is able with that. He's got fire in his belly. You see that he's got fire in his eyes.
He's
He
so
fights for
young,
every ball.
but he's so
right, and he
has a lot.
wants to
Prove something.
he wants to win.
He has no fear.
Yeah, he has no fear. Then you had a few players that already had yellow cards, as I mentioned to you via text. Koulibaly, I think he never got close to a forward. He didn't even.
He don't want to risk anything.
You know what?
Yeah.
He was playing. I mean,
I'm sure
I never saw
Spalletti told
Koulibaly,
him.
so
distant.
Scared, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
distant.
yeah.
So that has a lot to do
For
with
sure.
it. And then Rachmani also had the yellow card. He's going to miss against Atalanta. Osimhen, I don't know where that yellow card came from. I don't want to complain because what's the use? I mean, what was he
Exactly.
supposed to do with his hand? Cut it.
Yeah,
At the end, so he got that yellow. He got that yellow card. But the second half, we were able to
Overcome this.
to overcome and basically we pushed against Udinese. He changed that formation. The second half, Mertens cracked the game, split the game in half, and we were lucky. So now he needs to reinvent the wheel a little bit against Atalanta on April 3rd. And hopefully we can come out of there with 1 point.
I gotta tell you something because Ludo make a great point. I think
I always make
Osimhen is not going to be a factor. The fact that he's not going to be playing, and I'll tell you the reasons why. Napoli played very well without Osimhen just recently, and they played very well without Anguissa.
But you don't have Petagna now.
One sec.
Petagna is also out.
Petagna's out too.
Yes, he's
Well,
hurt.
Well, you got Mertens.
Di Lorenzo is hurt.
Well, listen, Ludo. Napoli.
Rachmani, you're going to
Napoli-
put Juan Jesus there.
But listen,
He
Napoli,
played,
Napoli, when he faces adversity, they found the way to respond on the field.
Usually,
because
yeah.
a lot of
Anguissa
people
is also, he did
Right.
not respond to the World
Right.
Cup call from Cameroon.
The call-ups, right?
So he's also stayed in
They
in
have
Napoli, so-
they have the tendency or not the tendency of not complaining. So we're missing this and that. So Spalletti, which I really don't like him because his personality really he irritates me. But
Yeah.
Spalletti finds the way all the time to plug 11 people into the pitch and
change things on the fly. That I give him a
change
lot
things
of
on the
credit.
fly, and they perform because Napoli's got it doesn't have a deep bench, but it's got a very good bench, on my opinion.
No, yeah.
Contrary to what Inter bench is, because Inter, all they did, they got all of those free transfer that they were bragging about it, and all those free transfer, they're not coming to fruition like this Vidal, all of those.
It's not quality.
Not quality, I mean, there was quality maybe 5 years ago, but they lost that half a step. You lose half a step, even a quarter of a step in the Serie A, in the Campionato, you're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, well said. Wayne really does have to leave pretty soon, so we're gonna have to.
I think we're gonna extend
Squeeze
this.
him.
I think we're gonna keep going.
We think we're good with
Yeah.
that. Okay, so I do want to hear because we didn't hear Wayne's
This is juicy.
talks in the beginning of the season. But Wayne, do you think? I know if you didn't know already, Ludo is very superstitious and stuff. They're only 3 points behind league leaders Milan. Do you see them as a serious contender for the Scudetto? What do you see in their team? What do you think of Spalletti overall? Because they do have a deep roster if you think about it when everyone's there. They have the quality. A lot of people mention the word mentality, asking if they do have that mentality too in the Scudetto. What do you think overall with them?
I wish I saw more, and I think that's the thing which keeps me from believing and getting really behind Napoli. As much as I would like to see it, I think it would be beautiful for the city. I've only met warm people from Naples. Like, I just love the vibe. Everyone's friendly, everyone's cool. They'll joke with you. You can mess around. Yeah,
Hospitable.
everyone's always yelling.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
That's
kind of like the
standard.
household I grew up in. So I'm like, I'm familiar with that. It makes me think of like home. Like, oh, Napoli, like home is very in my head. So they have that
great.
like that emotional aspect to it. But I just don't know why they come out flat. Why did they come out flat in the first half? You have all the motivation to go out there and kill
That's
Udinese
true.
and truly take it to them. Yet they come out flat. Where does that come from? I don't know if it is the tactical setup. Like, what was Fabian Ruiz doing?
Yeah.
And I also don't understand why. Well, not that I don't understand it, but I can believe it. Is why is Mertens becoming a victim of Spalletti? Why are you leaving those goals on the table? You have a top shelf player, Napoli's all-time leading goal scorer, yet you don't really have a place for him in your team. What is that? To me, that's not good enough. So as good as of a tactician that Spalletti is, he's been around the block quite a few times, maybe there's a bigger reason why he's never grabbed a Scudetto.
Does he give you flashbacks with what he did with Totti, or that's a different case?
Absolutely.
Even even though he got the record amount of points for Roma, do you still hold that against him?
I do. I really just believe. I'm not sure if it had something to do with the ownership.
Okay.
As to why he started to get frozen out, because I believe I've seen both sides blame each other, from Pallotta to Spalletti, Spalletti to Pallotta.
Mm-hmm.
But it's eerily reminding me of what happened with Totti, where why was this guy not playing? I understand that it's because of fitness and he didn't fit into what you want to do, but find a place for him. Find it. This guy, he could still. The crazy thing is, I know that there's probably going to be people on the stream, or you guys are looking at me. Totti could still go out there and have a good 30, 40 minutes, whatever it is. He could go on there and change a game still. To me, that's crazy. I know calcio a otte is a little bit different, 8 aside. That's a different game. But to me, he could still go out there and do that. I don't want to go on that tangent, though.
Yeah.
I feel
stay focused here.
Wait, I feel that, like you said, in order to have certain players on the team that have that creativity, that fantasy, that can change things at any second, and Totti is certainly one of them. But in order to maintain, to have one of those players on the team, you have to have an adequate roster to have people behind him in the midfield that carries the water for him, that does the work for them. If you don't have it, then he has to contribute. If you cannot contribute, then you got to be on the bench. I cannot have the bottle full and the wife drunk. So I need to have so going back to the days of Gattuso, for example, in Milan, you could afford to have players that were basically, not running much, that pass.
Not tracking back, you mean, right?
Yeah, you had Gattuso that was doing the work for two men.
Mm-hmm.
He was carrying that water on his shoulders for 90 minutes, coast to coast. I mean, at the end of the game, the guy was dead. So this is what I feel. Also, and now what he did for Totti in Napoli, I think it took 3-4 games, and we spoke about this last week. It took Spalletti 3-4 games to actually realize and say, enough is enough. You cannot. Insigne is not in shape. Out. Zielinski, you're not in shape. Out. Changing the formation around and going from 4-2-3-1, where Ozyman on TV, he was by himself, and there was no Napoli players behind
Checking
him.
back.
I mean, attacking. Change to the 4-3-3. Napoli is, to my understanding, the best team in Serie A for quality feet. Napoli has quality. If those guys are in shape, everyone, that's a PlayStation.
Automatic.
Calcio.
It's automatic.
Automatic.
Yeah.
The feet, the way they move the ball, in those tight spaces, that's the only team in Serie A that can do that. But everyone needs to be in shape. And we saw it the first 8-9 games of the season.
They're
when
on
they
fire.
were undefeated,
Yeah.
we won every game. I mean, your
They
eyes
looked
were going like
incredible.
this in front
Yeah.
of the TV. It was PlayStation.
Yeah.
Beautiful culture. So you do have the feet. You do have the quality. Now you can change things around. Why it took them to 4 games that we lost points, precious points, in order to go from the 4-2-3-1 to the 4-3-3 and see immediate results? Or you have the capability of changing on the fly, because you do have the men to change the formation on the fly, like you did with Udinese first and second half, and you won the game the second half.
So that's your thing with him, Ludo, right? It's
Yes,
adapting.
you need in order to win. You have to have everyone needs to be on the same page in the locker room, and that's what I think PSG. Unless you get rid of some players, they'll never go anywhere. Because now, if you're Pochettino in that game against Real Madrid, and you have Messi and you have Neymar on the field, one of them has to come out.
Yeah.
Put someone that carries the water on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Don't
You have
leave
a
those
point.
guys there. You're winning 1-0. Take them out and put someone. I guess he cannot do it. Doesn't have the guts to do it, or he was told not to do it. So it's got to be one of those
One
things.
of those.
Guys, one thing that a lot of people they tend to overlook, it's this kind of a formation that we always discuss, this 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2, 4-1-1, whatever. I think when the game is on the line, it comes to the last 10-15 minutes, all of those numbers that we put right in front of our table with 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2, they just go goodbye. So because I have seen it, AC Milan not conforming with that. Juventus not doing it. Napoli not doing it. Inter not doing it, because everything goes into some sort of overdrive, and people and then you've been asked by your coach to do what you didn't do during
It's balance, Anto. It comes down to balance. It comes down to team balance. And we saw it against Udinese. What a change between the first and second half.
Right. So, but
Two different teams.
Except for few teams like Napoli, the vast majority, they just scrambled toward to the end and they said, "I don't care, just leave your position and then go help this guy or help that guy."
We spoke about this many times, and I know it's a weird comparison. Probably Wayne never heard it. Okay, I'm the coach. I'm a chef. Okay. I have a refrigerator in front of me. You open the refrigerator and you have certain ingredients. If I'm a good chef, based on the ingredients that I find in the refrigerator, I need to cook. I need to create a dish.
Right.
Yeah. I need to create a nice dish, tasty dish that's going to look nice when I serve it. Wayne, I hope you understand what I'm trying to.
Of course.
That's up to the coach to. I got few ingredients. What am I going to cook?
Use
How
ingredients at your disposal, basically.
Right. Yes. How do I use those ingredients to the best of my knowledge to make a presentable dish?
Ludo, I think you said it great. It's not just about the players, because we've seen the PSG. I think you need everything on the pitch. You need the right coach. I think you need the right locker room, the right mentality. And most importantly, everyone has to be on the same page. If people are fighting, things start, you're greedy, you don't want to pass the ball, you don't want what's best for the team, it's a recipe for disaster. And to win the Scudetto, the stars have to align. Everything has to work out for you. You got to have a good team. You got to score. You get those lucky games. Everything has to align. So it's going to be interesting to see who wins
here. As soon as things do not go bad, do not go good.
Go south.
They need the backing from the
management,
from the management.
For sure.
We believe in this coach. We believe in this guy. We are moving forward with him. He's going to be our coach. So now when the coach says, "Okay, I have the club on my shoulder, behind me, on my back, now I can move and do what I need to do."
Well said, Ludo. And now for the game of the week, for the round. I know Wayne's smirking. He knows what time it is. Everyone knows what time it is. We got to talk about the Derby della Capitale, where Roma, probably my favorite song ever, not just in football, but they got an incredible anthem. And when they win at the end, it's even sweeter to hear it. Beautiful. But they got an outstanding 3-0 win against their bitter rivals Lazio after losing the first leg. And Wayne, unfortunately for you, you were here witnessing your team lose that game. They were outplayed that game. But this time, Roma came. They took revenge. They stepped on Lazio's throat from the first minute, literally, because Superman Tammy Abraham, who's having an incredible season, gets a brace. Pellegrini, probably the best free kick I've ever seen happen. Picture perfect. You could have had 3 keepers and told them where you would have went. Absolutely nothing they could have done. Strakosha, I don't think he was at fault for any of the goals. Roma
took the
worked
dust
too
away
good
from the upper 90.
Literally.
The dust came out of the upper 90. There was dust there in the upper 90. That ball took the dust out.
But Roma played so good. They finished the game in the first half. Second half, they didn't do much. They took their foot off the pedal, but they already won it. Lazio, they completely closed them off. And I just got to say, this staff from Tammy, by the way, Marco's good friends with Tammy now. He's dancing with him. They're throwing each other in pools and stuff like that. They're definitely boys. But first season for Tammy Abraham, came on loan from Chelsea. And this guy, Dzeko, is definitely not missed. I could say that. I'm sure Wayne could say it after. But Tammy has 22 goals. He's broken Batistuta and Montella's record of 21 goals in their debut season for Roma. So he is fitted in like a glove, especially considering how Roma are building a new project, have a lot of new players, and still being criticized in terms of how they perform, the Mourinho's defensive tactics, and he's doing this. Wayne, first of all, what you think of the derby? What do you think of Tammy Abraham and overall picture of Roma, how they're going on to the season?
when that third goal goes in for the free kick, to me it was like shock. I couldn't believe it.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
I mean, besides from the quality of it,
Poetry.
which is like,
That free kick was poetry.
is it not one of the most beautiful
Poetry
goals?
emotion.
Literally, I saw it so many times. It's
Poetry
scary.
in motion.
Literally.
Beautiful.
And then the way that they approach the match, to go out and get a goal that quick, that's something that's deep. Something's going on in the locker room. That's Mourinho getting into their heads, right? They go out, they take the game to Lazio. It's night and day versus the first leg where Roma were pretty hard done by some calls, but also I think Lazio played a pretty good game. But now we see the tables have completely turned.
They hopped them in the table.
Yes. So now Roma's in
win.
6th. Only Atalanta is above them for the automatic Europa League place. But every player, to me, this night was a 10 out of 10. Everyone came, did their job to the full extent. I don't think Lazio had one sniff on goal with Immobile with a header late in the game, maybe like the 82nd, 83rd minute. But Rui Patricio was there, and it really wasn't that great of a threat. He caught it. But everybody, if I look at Zalewski,
It was very good.
Mkhitaryan, Mancini, Cristante, who had one of his best matches, somebody who's been an underperformer, comes up and gets probably his best game in a Roma shirt. Everybody, there's no one to say that they didn't do a good job. So I'm very proud of them. I like that they didn't just roll over, because I had a weird feeling that, not a weird feeling, but I felt that this game was determined. If they lost, then it becomes another bad mark on a season where the team hasn't looked organized, the chemistry has lacked at times. But if they win, it's symbolic, and it shows that everything has been put together, and it gives some validity to the hard work that they've been doing. And you say, finally, okay, now we can build upon this win. Now we have something going good here, especially long term. We go into the summer. We know how this team can play when they're at 100%. Now we can see what we really need to fix. And full credit to Mourinho for figuring out a way to have Mkhitaryan become an influential player, because he was expected to leave. From his problems at Manchester United, he was not expected to be an influential player in this side. So there's a lot of bright spots, a lot of really good things, and I think for Roma fans to be proud about.
And having done that without Zaniolo makes a huge difference too. Zaniolo was sitting, and what Mike said, rightly said that Roma actually pulled the foot off the gas, but they didn't pump the brake on the second half either, because they were playing them too. I mean, Roma didn't stop. I mean, this is what I wish I would get to see from a lot of the coaches that we have in Serie A, that when they are winning 1-0 or 2-0, what they do, they're starting to just sit back and
not
then
the way.
And park the bus. So
That's an old school way.
So if you want to go to the next step, and Arrigo Sacchi is one of them, but always preaches for that, you have to just preach the same soccer that you preached on the first half, and attacking. That's it.
Be ruthless.
Ludo, what do you think of Roma overall?
The city of Rome lives for the derby. They live for these two games.
Most important dates of the year.
Right. And then for them, it's the season. The choreography, the fans. You had a lot of VIP people in the
Stadium,
in
at the
the
Olimpico.
stadium, including Marco as a VIP.
That's right.
Oh, Marco,
You
Marco's a
had,
VIP too.
Antonello Venditti. You had Totti, because he
Antonello was
represents
there,
a couple
yeah.
of players.
He's the one that sings the
Yeah.
Roma.
He was taking selfies with everyone and recording the selfies of him singing the anthem. But
Right.
yeah.
So tactically, Mourinho wrapped Sarri in a
Aluminum foil.
Saran wrap.
wrapped it and put it in his pocket.
Oh boy!
Tactically,
I like
it
that.
was one of those games that it was played to perfection, tactically, and Mourinho was instigated also during the week by Zeman
Yes.
and other coaches. So that gives him that extra motivation to go into the locker room. But tactically, it was perfection. The team was running 150 miles an hour, penetrating from behind. The passing, the timing was perfect. And then also after 50 seconds, what also helps is because usually these derbies, the first 10, 15 minutes, it's like a chess game, study mode. They study each other, and then you see and then you start playing. But now after 55 seconds, the guy Pellegrini takes a corner kick like Massimo Palanca of the 80s, where he used to take corner kicks and he used to score off corner kicks.
The Olympicos, right?
Right. No, he played for Catanzaro. Massimo Palanca in the 80s. Then he came to Napoli. He used to score directly from corner kicks.
Yeah.
He had a 37 size shoe. Very small, so he curved the ball.
It was
really
easy to
well.
curve.
So now, basically, the ball, it's off the crossbar. It lands at his knee, and boom, he puts that goal
Yeah.
in. So now, you're ready from the locker room. You're already winning 1-0.
And put the pressure on Lazio.
Correct. So now, Lazio still did not step onto the field.
They're
now
still-
they have to regroup.
They're seeing stars from
And
now.
what I liked about Mourinho, before Lazio could actually regroup, they continued with the same pace, and the derby was over after 35 minutes. The game was over because Mourinho and the players they put it away right away.
Yeah, Ludo, and the biggest part is it looked like Lazio played a few days before, not Roma, because they were playing their Conference League game, and Mourinho also got some stick for saying that, we won the game and all, but I'm not happy that Sarri and his players are smoking cigarettes while they're getting a full week's rest while we're not.
Against
So,
Vitesse.
yeah,
Vitesse.
exactly, against Vitesse. Where Tammy actually got the 90th minute winner,
Yeah.
hero again on that. But Wayne, there's been so much criticism on Mourinho, and I usually don't criticize coaches on their first year or players for that matter. Especially Antonio's not the biggest fan of him. But do you see Mourinho? Because there's a lot of games, I think all Roma fans could agree, they don't play pretty football at all. And there's a
No.
lot of they drop a lot of points that they shouldn't. But do you think Mourinho is the future for this Roma side to build an important project with? Or do you think it's going to be another short-term option?
I don't think you have a choice. Even whatever happened in the derby, I think you had to go into this project knowing that if this did go bad, Roma finishes 8th, maybe even 9th, whatever, right?
Yeah.
You have to back Mourinho, or else it's going to be this merry-go-round of what we've seen in Rome since Capello.
Yeah.
And those days have to be over. If we're going to be serious about this project in Rome, it has to be something where there's full concentration, full backing for better or worse. Maybe you get yourself into a position, you say, I don't like the way they're playing. Maybe they should be doing a little bit better. Maybe we're spending too much. Well, you know what? You signed up for it, and your best choice is to back him
To stick with
100%.
it.
Yes. So going into it, though, I haven't been all that happy, if I'm honest with you.
With the performances, the
With
results,
the
or both?
performances, because they've gotten some late winners, which I've been happy about, to see them show that mentality to still want to fight and get something in 90 plus minutes, right? But the way that they've approached many games, not just a few games, has been, for me, wanting to see more chemistry, identity to this team. How do they play? What are the tactics? Do the players know where to move? Why are we not scoring a lot of goals? Is that because they're not training in the right modules on the training ground? Or what is it? Because I haven't seen a great Roma. I've seen them get a couple really important wins, like I think of the games against
Inconsistent, right?
Atalanta.
Yeah.
The inconsistency has killed them to even make me, because I try to be an unbiased fan. I'm not a Mourinho lover where I say, yeah, I'm going to back him to the death and he's my guy. No, that's not my job. My job as a fan, if it's Roma, Atalanta, Napoli, whatever it is to try to see this objectively and not just be a lover and buy into something or be a hater, right? And to say, you know what, this hasn't been good enough. I don't care if it's Mourinho, if it's Zeman, or it's some guy they found at the beach.
Yeah.
They have to go out and show something. And after you've paid Mourinho wages, you expect Mourinho results. So
No.
it's been concerning up
Wait.
until then.
Wayne,
Up until then.
Yeah, I get what you're saying there. Now, I want to tell you a scenario right now. Roma currently in 6th place. If I told you round 1 of the Serie A at the beginning of the season, Wayne, I came from the future, and in round 30, Roma would be sitting in 6th place with 51 points. Are you happy with that or no?
I'd say okay. And I'd also want to know, where are they in the Conference League? Where are they in the Coppa Italia?
I'm not telling you that much.
I'd want to know the full picture, because if you tell me they're in 6th place but they're playing good football, they just need a couple more pieces, there's young players getting into the frame, I would say, okay, that's a very good thing, because that's long-term progress now. If you tell me they're just throwing a bunch of stuff against the fan and they're not playing good football and there's a bunch of guys who are 32 years old and they're on big contracts with big salaries, I'd be like, that's not good. But to know that he's integrating, Mu is integrating these young guys in, getting them to believe, and everybody's getting behind. Not too different from Milan right now, that there is something bigger at play. And that, as a fan, makes me believe and starts to re-inspire me and makes me want to watch more and get invested and say, yeah, now I feel that passion again. I feel a little bit burning. Now let's go. Let's watch these games. Dai Roma, forza, forza.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Okay.
again, Mike, to pick up on Wayne's, I
Yeah.
mean, now that the rumors that Zaniolo is already a Juventus player.
Well, it's not a Juventus player. There's rumors. That's
it's a
don't
rumor.
jump the gun.
It's not about rumors, but the owners of Roma,
The Friedkin group.
they never said Zaniolo is our future. We believe in Zaniolo. Zaniolo is not going anywhere. He is staying in Rome. They made
They might
people
monetize
understand that everyone is for sale. So that's where you get these rumors from. And I do agree. Also, the Roma fans, they're very impatient.
Yeah.
They're not easy. Rome is not an easy city to deal with.
They want the results immediately.
Right. No.
Yeah.
First year, they're okay. We got a new coach. We have the owners, players. Now, let's see what happens. They're okay. They'll support you. But now, second year comes around. Show me. What are you giving me? What are we going to win this year? Now, the second year, they won the results. So now, if you look back in the past 20, 25 years, look how many coaches after 2 years
Are
they're
sacked.
gone.
Yeah.
They were sacked.
Many.
Great coaches that they did not last in Rome the third year because of the fans.
The piazza.
And how they react. They're very hot. It's a super heated fan base in Rome where they do want to win. They want results. They'll give you the benefit of the doubt. They'll give you the first year, but then the second year, you got to give me something. Winning the derby, winning 2 games a year and beating Lazio, that's not enough anymore. It doesn't cut it anymore. I want to win. I want to win something. And that's where Mourinho, I think, does a good job in taking a lot of responsibilities on his shoulder. He's good in inventing things so the media focuses on him and the BS that he says and not to
The
put
team.
on the responsibility on that team, because a lot of those players, they're young, and he wants to bring up these young players. Because remember, Mourinho wants players that they need to do what he wants them to do. They listen to him.
Soldiers.
He's a general. So he wants those players to, and if he feels that you're not following him, that you're not on his side,
He wants you out.
he'll get you out. That apple, he will eliminate it from the tree.
Like Pedro.
Immediate. So now, 1 apple, 2 apples, 3 apples, 4 apples, now the locker room goes on fire. And that's why you need to be careful the second year around that he maintains that.
But do you see this going into a pride? Do you see positivity, optimism for Roma? How do you see based on?
I do see the positives. I know, I do see it. I just feel that sometimes the ownership, they don't talk, they don't make statements, they don't back certain things, and at the right time they need to say so. They're too quiet.
I get what you're saying.
And they're not trying to maintain that, that balance when you need to say certain
to
things.
keep the media quiet, and so
Mike,
there's not further controversy.
Mike, if you actually see the graphics on the TV, from time to time, the camera goes into the Friedkins over there on the stand, like Ludo said.
Frozen.
But that's a different style.
No emotion.
Granted, it's
Listen,
a different style. No, absolutely.
Some people don't
No
always
e-
want to be involved.
Listen to me. No emotion,
you know?
no statement before and after the game. But now we are into the era of computer stats. We know where the ball's
Yeah, the
handles
heat map.
most of the
Well,
time.
they did hire Thiago
We
Pinto,
have
paisano of Mourinho.
Yes.
So they thought, and Thiago Pinto
We-
is not that type of guy.
Ludo.
What's his name? Thiago Pinto, right?
Yeah.
He's not a chiacchierone, like
Yeah.
they say. A guy that talks a lot, goes to the media, he wants to be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. No, quiet.
Low
behind
key,
the scenes.
very low key.
He has his
Mourinho,
meetings
Ludo.
with Mourinho.
Yeah,
they talk their own language,
Mourinho,
their own ideas.
Mourinho can draw as much attention as he wants, but then at the end of the day,
Gotta show the results.
Everybody's got a computer, has got a phone. Everybody sees where the ball stays, how many times you are stationing yourself into the midfield of the opponent, and how many cross you make. They look at the stat. Now everybody all of a sudden is starting to focus on numbers. So Mourinho can draw as much as attention as you want away from the issue that they are happening on the field into himself. But at the end of the day, numbers are what they count.
But if you
and
look
Wayne had a good point before by saying, hey, Roma shows up many times doing the right thing, but many other times you don't even know. You can even recognize why Roma is not doing what they're supposed to do.
If you look at some of those numbers, they are a little concerning. The expected goals, last time I checked, was the second highest in Serie A. Expected assists is up there as well, yet it hasn't always been converted. So one thing that they have been dependent on is Tammy Abraham, who else has been scoring a lot
Maybe
of
a little
goals.
too much.
A little too much. And I know I've seen this on message boards. Romanisti will say, well, how come they're not pointing at Vlahovic? Or what? Take whatever example you want, but it's true. I look at these numbers and I see nobody else over 10 goals for Roma. That's concerning. How come there's no guy putting in 11, 12 assists?
Yeah.
How come there's no one else partnering him? So it's going to take someone to step up next year if they're going to be serious.
But look at what happened also, Wayne. I mean, we just got to go back 3-4 years. Roma reached the semifinal of the Champions
Great
League.
team.
Great team. But then what happened to that toy?
They got ripped
the following
apart.
It
year.
broke.
That toy broke the following year because the ownership, Pallotta, their focus was on the stadium, on the politics, on the BS surrounding Roma. Now the debt that Roma gathered, there were 300-400 million in debt. They had to sell certain players. Certain players wanted to leave.
They spent a lot, though.
Left because he didn't believe in the project. He wanted to go play in England. Other players also were sold. But that's what the Roman fans, they said, okay, we reached the semifinal of the Champions League and we went backwards instead of saying, what do we need to do in order to move forward?
I think they tried, but Monchi just comes in and has no idea what he's doing. Overspends, gets rid of Nainggolan because he smoked a cigarette once or twice, and says this guy, he can't be in the locker room anymore. Well, I mean, it was terrible.
He kind of
calls.
ruined the structure of the team and made a lot of players not be happy.
The magic. We took away the magic.
Stuff like that.
And Roma does operate on a tight budget, so when you buy big and it messes up, it's magnified. It's like times 10, man. Yeah. You buy Schick, who doesn't play into. I mean,
that's Pallotta.
He was a record
they
signing.
gave too much power to
Monchi.
Too much power.
That's the danger of not really understanding
football. Now you have an owner that lives in Boston. He also has other business ventures. He's worried about the politics, the new stadium, paying people under the table, trying to get certain things accomplished. And meanwhile, you have this guy running the whole club. Everything was on his shoulders. And I think another mistake that Roma made, I liked Fonseca as a coach. I think he should have stayed. My opinion.
I think they needed a change, which is why, and the coach is always a scapegoat because it's the easiest thing. It's hard to get rid of 22 players on a roster.
Mike, based on the circumstances, he did a good job. Based on what he had to deal with and all the turmoil that he had to deal with.
I agree with you on Fonseca.
I like that as a coach.
I think he had multiple jobs because he had to calm everything down, not just coach the players. So he was in a pickle for sure.
Honestly, I think I would have brought back Rudy Garcia.
Really?
I love the way that they played under him. Like when he had Gervinho, they were firing, man. I love the brand that he played, open, flowing.
No, it was nice. It was a nice display football.
There you go.
Champagne.
Two great coaches. How long did they stay in Rome? Two great coaches. How long did they last?
2 years.
Not very long.
Yeah,
It was
very
really
long.
2 years, yeah.
But guys, we are in the international break. Serie A is on pause for a very important
We need a rest,
reason.
man. We need a rest.
A huge rest. And unfortunately, Italy's not going to be playing friendly games like most of the bigger national team. They got to play World Cup qualifiers because they finished second in their group with Switzerland. And the first game, they got to play 2 finals. Hopefully they get through the first. The first semifinal is against Macedonia on Thursday, where Marco and Gaetano will be in Sicily at
the good luck charms.
The good luck charms at the Renzo Barbera. So it is nice. We all know the southern people in Italy. They're very warm and extra loud, considering maybe you could say some of the northern countries.
The rice balls.
So
the
exactly, a lot of the comfort food, the fried comfort. Hopefully that can help and bring a lot of the good luck charm, and hopefully everyone's holding the cornicelli over there for the superstitious people. But huge game, win or go home against Macedonia. A lot of people saying, it's Macedonia, it's all this. Guys, it's do
minutes.
or die, 90 minutes.
One game.
It's not 2 legs. Whatever happens, happens. I've seen some crazy matches in the past that the better team doesn't always win. So I'm 100% laser focused just on this match. Not thinking about the second match yet, because you got to focus on what's on your plate. Elmas, which is a huge plus, is suspended for this game, which I would say, I don't know Macedonia that much, but I think that's their best players. I think I could safely say in attack at least. So he will not be playing. We know, like Ludo said before, Di Lorenzo got injured, unfortunately, and De Sciglio got the call-up before him. I will quickly say Mancini's lineup, and I'll talk about what happens with them. And then we can go from there. 4 goalkeepers: Donnarumma, Golini, Cranio, Sirigu called up. Defense: Acerbi, Bastoni, Biraghi, Bonucci, Chiellini, De Sciglio, Emerson Palmieri, Florenzi, Luis Felipe, Mancini. The defense. Midfield: Barella, Cristante, Jorginho, Locatelli, Pellegrini, Pessina, Sensi, Tonali, Verratti. And attack: Gallo Belotti, Berardi, Mobile, Lorenzo Insigne, Joao Pedro, Politano, Raspadori, Scamacca, Zaccagni, and Nicolo Zaniolo. Guys, there's a lot of controversy. Let me just say, Mancini had a big choice between Joao Pedro and Balotelli. And shockingly for a lot of people, he picked Joao Pedro over Balotelli. We know Di Lorenzo injured, De Sciglio picked over there. No Calabria called up. Who wants to start
I start.
based
This
on
is
the
not even a
call-ups?
game. This is not a game.
What do you mean it's not a
It's
game?
a win.
Oh my God, Anton!
This is not a game. It's a win. We're
Man.
gonna walk all over them.
Man, don't say this.
What do you mean? Don't say that. I am saying that.
It's not a friendly.
Are you kidding me? You kidding me?
No.
You're not kidding me. Macedonia? You know what Macedonia is in Italy? It's a fruit salad. Yeah. You cut a
You
bunch of
can't
different kind
underestimate, Anton. You can't underestimate
We're gonna
anyone.
dice them up like a fruit salad, and we're gonna take them and we're gonna eat them like with a spoon.
I hope this
And
doesn't come
you
back
put
and
inside
haunt
a
us.
little maraschino. Ludo knows what I'm talking about, right? Maraschino is a little
Give a
liquor.
little taste.
It gives a little taste, and you eat them. We're not supposed to be sitting on this table right now. We've been feeding Macedonia, okay? Even with the all second line
Wow.
in the Italian national team, we're supposed to eat them raw, alive, okay? There is no contest. This is no game on the line. Italy has already won this game. Let's move. Let's sit on the couch and let's see
Talk about
what
Tuchel.
is going to happen between Portugal and Turkey.
Wow. I don't know about that.
It's on you now, Ludo.
Is he acting crazy now?
No, I disagree because it's a 90-minute game.
Anything
One
can
game,
happen.
right? And anything can happen in 90 minutes. The pressure is on Italy, and you need to score. You need to win, and I believe Macedonia. Okay, they lack that. It's not a great. It's not a great team. We all know that. But you could have 11 Lions on the field with that fire in their eyes, and
anything
they'll
can
run
happen.
you off the field, and they'll run,
That's what I'm
90
afraid of.
minutes and pressure you really high and put everything on the line. So in order for you to beat me, you got to work your ass off. You got to work harder. Overwork. If I'm running 110 miles an hour, you, Italy, you have the better players and the better feet. You got to run 150 miles an hour because I'm going to make you sweat if you wanna beat me. So that pressure, it's 90 minutes and the clock is going by and then second half comes along, Macedonia players going down. I mean, anything can happen. I mean, I'm just throwing the worst scenario out there. I do agree with Mancini's calls, not calling Balotelli. Even though Joao Pedro, I don't think he will see a minute of on the field. Felipe also, and Politano also. He called basically utility players, is what he calls them, that can play multiple.
That can plug in.
And I'll tell you why he didn't call Calabria. You want to know why he didn't call Calabria?
Why?
Why? Because De Sciglio could play the right and the left side, and he could also play the middle. Calabria can only play the right side.
You tell it? No, you're
That's-
wrong. Calabria can play both sides, number one. I think Calabria is much better than De Sciglio. I'm sorry.
Well, De Sciglio can play. He's more utility according to him. He can play on
yeah.
both sides. He can also play the.
He made a mistake. For me, Balotelli made a
the
big
middle.
mistake, but it is what it is.
Balotelli, I
agree.
disagree. I don't agree with Balotelli. I think he's going to go with the majority of the players that did play with in the European Cup. Berardi coming off.
The form.
He's in
with
great
Sassuolo.
form. Insigne, so and so. not that not that much.
Then you're starting on the top. Scamacca, I would start Scamacca. Don't put me Belotti. Don't put
I think he's going to start Immobile.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I
God!
think he's going to start
please.
Immobile, even though
You should go Scamacca.
on Sunday he did not play. I don't think he ever came out of the locker room.
No.
It was a no-show in the derby. Immobile on
Sit him down. Put Scamacca right there.
Sunday.
Right, plug him right in the middle.
Right in.
So Wayne, what do you think overall with the call-ups, and what do you think for Macedonia on Thursday?
It's all right. I'm afraid with what Ludo said. They're gonna come out on fire. These guys are playing for national pride.
It's a must-win. They're the
Yeah.
first time they can qualify for a World Cup. You don't think they're gonna be breathing fire
And
for
you
this
know
one?
what? These are probably not guys who are making 5 million euros per season. So they also know that they're in the public spotlight.
Exactly.
They're playing against Italy. They're playing, in front of the world
Millions.
stage. Yeah. What could this mean for their career? They go out, one guy gets a goal against Italy. He's a national hero. So there's more for them in it to go out. Like it's more.
It's true. More for Italy to lose. They have nothing to lose.
Cinderella
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, Macedonia
Yes.
have nothing to lose.
There is no Cinderella BS
We
over
hope
here.
not.
They are, listen to me. Those guys are playing in Palermo. You opening a cage over there. Have you seen the movies of the Romans?
Stadium's nuts.
Okay, it's like you have the lions already all set up.
The
and
fans
then
aren't playing though, Anto.
you open the cage and then you let the slaughter right there happen. Those people, they're gonna need diapers before you actually start the game. I'm telling you.
I hope this.
From your mouth to God's ears.
man.
I mean, listen.
Anto, I just hope that no one clips this clip in the future if something happens. Knock on wood. But I agree with Wayne and Ludo on this one. 90 minutes. I know you've seen calcio long enough where the better team doesn't always win, and a free goal happens and something happens like that. So I'm surprised that you're going this crazy and not nervous at all.
Listen,
because I'm really nervous for Italy.
the coach is Mancini. Okay, we do not ever. You remember the last time we didn't make the qualification?
Oh, don't talk about
I don't
that
even
name.
want to
Don't say his name.
Say his name. The coach is Mancini. He knows how to motivate the player. And the players that they are going into the pitch, they know what's at stake. The only thing that worries me, to be honest with you, and I'm going to say it, I'm going to leave it on the line.
Okay.
It's the Bonucci and Chiellini job.
You mean the
right
people
there.
that won Italy the Euros?
Yes. Yes.
They might not start, though,
That
'cause
worries
their
me, the
fitness.
fitness of those two guys. Not because, I'm not worrying about losing the game, but I don't think those two guys are healthy enough to be able to take the starting
What about
position.
Donnarumma, the frame of mind?
Donnarumma.
He just got killed.
I like that
Donnarumma
one.
is good. Donnarumma.
They put 3 past him
It's all right.
on the
He'll
weekend.
fine.
But
Donnarumma
Wayne,
will be fine.
do you think Mancini left anyone out, or do you think the call-ups are all good? What's your stance on this? Also the striker situation, because we
trying-
never really heard your thing. Do you think Immobile should start? Do you think another person should start? What are your thoughts?
Immobile should definitely not start. I think you have to put Scamacca in. The one thing that worries me about not taking Balotelli is you leave one of the very, very few Italian difference makers at home. Somebody who can turn a game on its head,
And he's
make something
second.
out of nothing.
And he has the mentality. He has a killer mentality. That's not going to be scared on a one-on-one situation. I think
no
at least.
He didn't get called for the
No
stability
fear.
of the locker room.
Yes,
That's
because Mancini
yeah.
wants
That's what it is.
a group.
No,
But Mancini is the one that knows him the best, Wayne. He
He's
knows
a
him the
bench
best.
So what does that tell you?
He tells me that right now he's just keeping, because for Mancini to call
Status
Balotelli,
quo.
for Mancini to call Balotelli right now, this is what I'm thinking. And sitting on the bench and not making play will be just worse. So I think what Mancini is doing is getting him more angry for the game, and then maybe on the second leg, if we win,
Let's
he
talk
might
about
be calling. It might be called up.
I don't
No,
think, that's
no,
not how it
no, no,
works.
it's not.
No, no,
it's
no.
not,
No, that's
listen.
not
I can be wrong, but
no.
I made a mistake. To me, he made a mistake in not getting Mancini. I agree with Wayne
Balotelli
100%.
is that type of player that also on the field, a foul, he cannot control himself. The yellow
has
cards
antics.
come in and the red
Blames
cards, it might
others.
leave the team. It's not a stable atmosphere. So yes, he's going to count on those players that did win the European Cup, plus a couple of players to complete the group, and he's going to rely on those players that did win the Euro, and hopefully that they can bring us to Qatar
World Cup.
to the World Cup in November.
I don't think the starting midfield is a question mark for Mancini, but it should be, because you have Locatelli, who's probably not going to break into this, but you have Jorginho, who's going to play the whole thing. Then you have
Verratti.
Verratti, and you're going to have Barella. out of the three of these, as we've spoken about tonight, I think Barella is the one who's exhausted. The guy has too many games in his legs over the past year and a half.
Maybe you want to put Tonali, you're saying?
It's a possibility.
I would not even start Berratti, to be honest with you. I would not even start Berratti, to be honest with
That's
you.
not gonna happen.
If I ever to sit somebody, I'll sit Verratti. Verratti is not a different maker when it comes down to the verticality of the game. I wanted the game to go vertical. Mancini, it's just he loves to go vertical. Verratti, it's always going to be doing the job and all of those geometry in the midfield. Tonali is the one capable of going vertical. Even Locatelli is capable to go vertical.
Yes.
Jorginho is capable. Verratti is not. And Verratti never looks at the net. He never squares the ball and takes the shot. Verratti cannot shoot the ball. Not because I'm saying. A lot of people are saying the same thing. A lot of people, they know this. Verratti is a midfielder, but it's not somebody that when the time comes and you have the space, he takes the shot. He will never take the shot.
Would you leave him on the bench?
Yes.
No.
Ando, that's fair.
Yes. I will leave him on the bench.
I don't think we talked about Antonio's starting lineup for that Zuri. Very risky, and I don't think that's something you want to play around with in a must-win game. But let's just assume for a second that everyone's healthy, right? Let's all try to agree on a starting lineup that we could do. Left back, there's Emerson Palmieri, and there is Biraghi from Fiorentina. Palmieri, right? Anto, what do you think on that? Biraghi or Palmieri?
Palmieri has the experience. He did replace what's his name? Spinazzola, correct. So I think he's
Palmieri's been there before, and he logged a lot more minutes on. So let's leave Palmieri.
Okay, so right back we have Florenzi, we have De Sciglio, and did I name all of them?
They're gonna sit in Macedonia's half. So Emerson.
Mm-hmm. No, right back. I'm saying
right back now.
Right back. Florenzi, De Sciglio. I think that's a realistic right back options that are there.
Put Florenzi. He's more of an attacking mind and just he tracks back.
I agree with you, Anto. Ludo, what do you think?
For me, I'm good with Florenzi or De Sciglio on that right side.
But pick one.
De Sciglio.
Oh,
Florenzi's in good form.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
top shape.
Everyone's 100%. Okay. The center back partners. If everyone's healthy, I think Chiellini, Bonucci. Wayne,
I would go with the experience with the husband and the wife.
Okay, Anto.
I will put the Inter kid, Bastoni, and I will put even Mancini.
They never played together.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, Wayne.
You got to be husband and wife. Yeah?
No, husband and wife.
Yeah.
It's got to be a marriage there.
Anto, how are you gonna have two center backs that never played with each other?
Well,
of course it matters.
It takes games and games to get that.
They're young. They're angry for the game. They know what to play.
Mancini is sometimes too angry, which makes me nervous about him.
Bastoni and Mancini, to me, those are the future for the team. For
Bastoni's future captain of this team.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
maybe with Donnarumma.
So we all know Mancini's going to stick with the 4-3-3. So let's keep it simple. He's not changing that. I say the three midfielders that they won the Euro with: Verratti, Jorginho, and Barella. Wayne, what do you think?
Agree.
I don't think you start Barella. As much as I want to, he's a player I love. I've watched him since he played for Cagliari. For me, he's not it. He's too tired, man. You got to get some fresh legs there. I would want to see how they're playing at Coverciano. If Tonali looks pretty good, or if it's Locatelli, which one looks more like a physical force right now? We're deep into the season. These guys have tired legs. So let me see how between the two of them how they're playing, and I would make a decision.
Say both are 100% and highest expectations. Who do you prefer?
Locatelli or Tonali?
Yeah.
Ooh, bro, I gotta go with Locatelli.
Okay.
Because of his performance at the Euros.
So it could be Locatelli, Verratti, and Jorginho for you for the midfield for the three.
Locatelli. Yes.
Okay, Ludo, what do you think?
I think he's gonna start Barella.
No, what do you want? Now, what do you think?
What I want.
There we go. Now we're gonna start. Naturalize Fabian, right?
I think that this is my opinion. I think Jorginho and Verratti cannot play together, even though Mancini
they're too similar.
Believes
against Macedonia though.
Yes, I feel that Barella will start. He carries the water. He does his miles. He does that coast to coast. He gives you that balance. Now he's got to figure out who's in for that given game. Who's better? Jorginho, if it's not working, take him out. Move Verratti in the middle, and now you go with Locatelli in the middle. Verratti's not in the game. Take him out, and put Locatelli in and leave Jorginho where he is. So this is the dilemma that I think he's going to have. Who's going to be? Because I don't see those two clicking.
They're stepping on each other's feet from many times. They're very similar players.
Even though Mancini believes in that.
What I will do, I will leave Barella in, but I will just leave Locatelli just for the fact that the Locatelli and Domenico Berardi, they played together for so many times, so many years in Sassuolo, and they have a great chemistry.
Berardi will start on the right.
They know how to feed off each other, and I think Locatelli will put will if he's gonna be someone putting someone else in the position to do damage in front of the goalkeeper, is gonna be Locatelli feeding Berardi.
Okay, so that's your three in the middle.
But I want to see a Tonali. But let's leave Tonali on the side. I will
Just
definitely
just put Milan.
yeah, well, I will do that if I had.
Change a badge. And now the front three. What I think is gonna happen. It's gonna be Insigne, Immobile, and Berardi.
Agree.
But I'd have to keep Insigne on the left. For my formation, I have to keep Insigne because there's no one else that's gonna go there.
Berardi on the right.
I'm not gonna put Raspadori there, and I put Scamacca as the striker for me, who is coming off a beautiful free kick goal for Sassuolo. And Berardi and Scamacca are gonna link up perfectly over there.
At one point, we will see Raspadori in.
Probably. But Wayne, what do you think for your front three?
I would like to see that. The smart choice is Insigne. That's the safe and smart.
You have to. Who else? I don't think you can risk.
But he's a choker, Mike. He chokes all the time on a big game.
I think it could have been Caprari if he was called up based on his form. He's been having a tremendous season.
On meritocracy, should have been called up.
I mean, this is a World Cup qualifier, so this is not the time.
Caprari has 11, 12
to take
goals.
those chances.
Yeah. And a lot of 7
assists. I'm surprised.
And he just caused a penalty kick. He got that Simeone missed both of those actually, but he's been tremendous. So it's Insigne, and then because I'm not sure that Insigne has 90 minutes in his legs, you bring in Raspadori to complete Sassuolo's trident of Scamacca and Berardi, and let the three of them work with each other.
Who do you think? Switch Berardi in the middle.
No, Ludo. Bad idea. Berardi comes from the wing and.
But wait. What do you think Mancini's gonna play though? If I know you want that, what do you think?
Immobile will be there. With Berardi.
I agree with you. And Ludo, what's your time?
Same thing that you said. Insigne, Immobile, Berardi. But Berardi on the right, Insigne on the left, Immobile in the middle. Those are the three starters.
And but what do you want?
No, that's what I want.
You want Immobile starting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I feel that guy has to break.
One of these days.
There's too many times. We said that too many times. We said that way too many times.
I have no patience. I have no patience for mediocrity when it comes to Italian national team. Insigne sits down.
Oh. Wow.
I will bring Raspadori first.
Ludo.
I will put Scamacca over there, and I will put Berardi. And I know it. I know it that Italy has got already the speed and the anger and the
I like Raspadori as a player.
Me too.
Laser focus right there on the net. The three players that they attack the net, they don't go back all the time. They go forward.
Yeah.
That's what I like about those three players. Insigne, when he's going to get covered, he's going to turn 180, pass back the ball. Let somebody else take the hot potato. I don't like that. Insigne is going to have to play like the Insigne that played in Napoli the first half of the season, the first 7, 8 games, 10 games. Take the guy one-on-one, bring the ball to the right, tira giro, goodbye, end of the game. So Insigne lately has been too much of a chicken. He plays safe. I don't like that. I'd rather you to make a couple mistakes, but I want you to put your defender out of his misery. You have to take your chances. Even though you're going to get stopped several times, you have to take those chances.
I think he will start Insigne because of they play together with Immobile in Pescara. And Verratti, all three of them, Verratti, Immobile, and Insigne, they know each other really well. They played with Zeman in Pescara a few years back when they all went respectively to their teams. I don't think we're going to see the Insigne come down the line to take on a man 1v1 and cross the ball like Berardi can do. Insigne will get the ball in the midfield and will try to move more towards the center and try to give those penetrating passes to Immobile because they have that perfect timing together.
Well said. Guys, I
thought about something else.
Yeah, okay, go really quickly.
Raspadori to replace Dybala behind Vlahovic. That creativity, that fantasy, that dribbling to take on a man 1v1 and serve the ball, I see them there. That's my opinion.
Does he have enough goals in him? to do
I
that?
don't think it's about.
I mean, he's
the
young.
can
assist,
score.
the
He
He's
can
still very
score.
young.
He can score.
He's young, but I think he could score.
He's not afraid to shoot the
10,
ball.
to 10 goals. But I just thought about when we, the Raspadori.
If he could score 10 goals a season, I could
I
see
see
it.
him there. I just thought about it now.
Sassuolo have a great academy. That's
Ludo,
for sure.
stick with Sfogliatelli. I think it's a bad
No,
choice.
listen. I just thought about it. Listen.
No,
I
no,
just
that's
see him
not a bad option at
behind
all.
Vlahovic and Chiesa behind that. A player like that.
Super
that,
smart.
That speed,
Yeah.
and his speed gets faster. He has that great progressive speed
Yeah.
where he.
Cambio di
he gets
passo.
faster,
Yeah.
right?
Cambio
the
di
change
passo.
of pace.
Yeah.
I got you.
And I love that. And he could take on a man 1v1.
But-
That's why Juventus need against Villarreal. A guy like
So,
Raspadori.
so it's what? Italy 3, Macedonia 0. Can we call it?
I'm not gonna say
I
3.
called it.
Ludo, what's your prediction?
I take the 1-0 for me.
I take 3-0.
2-0.
I say 2-1 Italy win and book it to the next stage, whether they play Portugal or Turkey. But regardless, guys, we'll be suffering together because we will be doing a live stream Thursday. I think it's going to be a packed house. Wayne, I'm not forcing you to come, but you're always more than welcome to come to the studio.
Ludo,
Watch.
you're gonna be
I think
here?
there's going to be a million people.
Ludo, you're going to be here?
But it should be good. Thursday, Marco and
4
Gaetano
p.m.
will be seeing it live. Yes, 3:45 p.m. Eastern time. Guys, do not miss this. Everyone, all the Serie A fans, gotta unite for this one because Italy, that Zuri need every single person's support on this one.
Listen, I can actually stay home because it's going to be a boring game. We're going
No,
to just
no.
destroy those guys.
Why don't you
We gotta relax
Yeah.
with that.
come here,
Yeah.
watch the game,
Yeah.
and bring a little bit of Macedonia, and we
There
eat
we
while
go.
we watch the game.
We can work on that.
Hopefully, you guys don't.
A bowl of Macedonia.
This is an
and
Italian
we'll-
thing I don't know about. So you put the maraschino
Yeah,
in.
never heard
No,
of
Yes.
Macedonia mostly it's done with hard fruit. It's like apples, pears,
grapes,
grapes,
cantaloupe.
watermelon. Nothing soft. No berries.
You
things
have that
like
juice inside, but you add a little bit of liquor to give a little bit of
Then
the
you
nice.
put
A
a
little
little
buzz.
maraschino on the top. Wayne, you're Italian somehow.
Yes.
So-
I've never heard of this.
Don't Google that up.
Macedonia.
Google that up. Don't go into the Napoli website. Go into the Bari website. And
Bari,
you're
they
gonna
can't
see
afford
it.
it.
The maraschino con la Macedonia. It's top of the line. It's just a very, very, very good dessert.
Maybe if Italy win, we can definitely. IFTV will treat a nice little maraschino for all of. Oh wait, what's it called?
Macedonia.
Macedonia.
The
I said
liquor-
the
Macedonia
liquor. I said
is
the
the
liquor.
maraschino.
You're right.
Okay.
But guys, Wayne, thank you so much for coming all the way
Thank
here.
you so much.
Ludo, thank you for coming. Anto, thank
Happy
you for
calcio,
coming.
everyone.
Forza Azzurri, Forza Serie A. Guys, we will be live Thursday for the huge final. And yeah, we'll see you guys then. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Ciao, guys.